Peoples. Today, I want to talk about a friend. What it is to be a friend. The Oxford Language Dictionary defines friend as a person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond or mutual affection. A person whom one knows. That's a person that somebody knows. And, not and meaning inclusion of, or is exclusion of, either or. A person whom one knows and including with whom one has a bond of mutual affection. And then we have the comma. But before I get to all of the stuff after the comma, I want to deal with the thought that has been arisen before the comma. A friend, a person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond or mutual affection. So the first part of being a friend is that the person that is a friend to you, you must first know that person. The biggest problem with friendship is that many of us become friends with people that we don't know. How you become friends with someone you don't know is by claiming them as your friend, not knowing them well enough to claim them as your friend. People that you meet right off the rip are not your friends, they are your acquaintances. They are people that you have become acquainted with. Just because you have acquaintances doesn't automatically make these people your friend. Your friend first is people that you know. You have to have knowledge and awareness of this person. And this knowledge and awareness should go beyond the idea that you know or are aware that they exist. You have to become aware and have knowledge of their entire being. It is when you have knowledge of a person's full being that person can become your friend. Other than that, they are just acquaintances. So just having knowledge and full awareness of a person is not enough to make this person your friend. Being fully acquainted with people is not enough to make them your friend. You go to school with people, you work with people that you live on the block and in the neighborhood with people that you know very well. You know when they get up. Your neighbors, you know when they get up, you know when they go to bed because they're your neighbors. You know when they leave the house, when they come home because they're your neighbors. Of years of being around them, you will become aware and have full knowledge of them. But that alone is not enough for them to become your friend. You have to have a bond after having this knowledge of this person. You have to have developed in knowing this person, in getting to know this person. You have to now have a bond of affection. You have to have a bond of likeness. You have to have a tenderness in your heart for this person. You have to like this person. So knowing a person and liking people is two different things. There's people that you've known all your life that you know them and they know you very well, but they have not become your friends because y'all have not developed this bond of affection. This bond of likeliness, liking this person, being fond of this person, having an affection, a like for this person. Now, there's people that I like, and and that I have a tenderness in my heart for, but I don't know these people. When as to any one of these three things begin to fold, that friendship is on the rocks. Now, in that definition, as a person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of affection with, comma. Now I'm going to deal with the part that comes after the comma. Typically exclusive of sexual or family relations. Stop. Well, people first they get or become aware of a person, they get knowledge of a person, and they bond with people, and they start to have a liking and an affection. But there's no real order in which way these things go. Usually the awareness and knowledge comes first, but there's ways that you can become friends with the person and have a bond with them before you even aware of them, or have a bond with them and not even have knowledge of them or even an affection or liking of them. I have a brother that is my brother, and then I have a brother that is my friend. Okay? And the brother that's my brother is not my friend because we have a bond. You understand what I'm saying? We have a bond. You know what I'm saying? And we have knowledge of each other, but the affection ain't there. I have a brother named Jimmy Riley. That's my brother. That's my blood brother. I'm knowledgeable. Jimmy Baxter Riley. Riley Baxter, or just Jimmy Baxter. That is my brother. I have knowledge of him. Okay? And I have a bond with him through family, through blood, and through DNA. But we're not affectionate of each other. I'm affectionate of him. He's not affectionate of his father's side of the family. So we're not friends. Then I have my brother Willie Whitfield, who is one who I am knowledgeable of. I'm aware of him. I have a bond with him through family. And then I have an affection for him. So he is not only my brother, he is my friend. People have bonds. And it's usually that the awareness comes first and then they create bonds out of this awareness. The fondness comes and it's so hard that it immediately bypass fondness and goes quickly to gelling and bonding. And a good example of this could be prostitution or boyfriend and girlfriend sexual relationships or even marriage, because that friendship is stuck together mostly because of the bond, not as much as the awareness or the fondness. You see, somewhere in friendships, it got to be a balance between the awareness, the bond, and what's that? The awareness, the bond, and the affection. Right? It has to be a balance. Once the balance, excuse me, I'm smoking on some good herb today. I'm trying not to go off. Oh boy, I try to get away with it. I try to get away with trying not to cough. Because everybody know what I do. I try to keep it smooth, because I didn't want to have to make a break in the taping. But when there's a balance between a friendship, in the friendship between the awareness of a person, the knowledge of a person, and the bond and the affection, then you have a strong, well-balanced friendship. A lot of times friendships break up because of the dysfunctional imbalancement between the awareness of a person, the bondage, the bondage, what caused the bonding, which is work. Okay? What caused the bonding and the affection. Somewhere there's a shift in balance of these three particular items. Once there's a shift in the balance, the friendship becomes a threat. Or should I say the friendship becomes threatened? Because the friendship itself is not a threat and has never been a threat. But the friendship can be threatened, meaning that it can become the object and the victim of threat. When there's an imbalance in the knowledge and awareness, the bonding and the mutual affection, the liking, the fondness in individual friendships, the friendship is on a verge to an end. There's friends that I'm no longer friends with because I may have a bond with them, I may have knowledge of them, but I become no longer fond of them, of what they do, what they say, how they act, maybe even how they even think, you know? Somewhere, the fondness, the liking of this particular individual have began to diminish. And in this diminishing, now you may have knowledge and awareness, and you also may have a bond. I mean, y'all could go to school together, y'all could work together, y'all could be in the same family, y'all could be in the same neighborhood. But because somebody don't like something that somebody did or something that somebody said, or it can even go as far as not liking the way someone thought. Now the fondness starts to diminish and the friendship is threatened. Another scenario of an imbalance is where you can have knowledge and awareness of the person, right? Right? And you can have affection for the person, a liking, a tenderness for this person. But there's no bond, okay? Or the bond becomes threatened, you know, and the friendship becomes a threat. I've had situations where I was friends with guys in the hood, and we had a bond because we was in the hood, and we lived in the hood, and people just can't just up and move up like that. So we had a bond and awareness of each other, and we had an affection. But when I moved out of the hood and the hood no longer became a priority to me, having to adapt to a new life outside of the hood, me not constantly going to the hood and checking in on the hood, was a threat to that friendship. I have knowledge of these people and I have a fondness, even a love, for these people. But because I left the hood, and it could be the game, or whatever it is that y'all was involved in the hood. Because I left that became a threat to the friendship. We all loved each other. You know what I'm saying? We all grew up together. You know what I'm saying? So we had knowledge and awareness of each other. We hung around each other every day. Elementary school, junior high school. It had our first girlfriends together, had our first babies together out here. I'm talking about as peers. Got our first jobs and our first cars and houses. But once you left the hood, once I left the hood, and the hood no longer became a priority, then that became a threat to that friendship. Number three, the awareness, the knowledge. You can have a bond, awareness and knowledge of a person, and an affection. And that friendship is solid. And what keeps it solid is that we keep knowing each other. Most friends stop by and see each other. They call each other. They text each other. They write each other or write each other, you know, whether it be text or email or mail, postal, you know. Friends communicate with each other. Friends are constantly knowing and getting to know each other. Friends go through life together and they experience things. One friend may experience something, like as myself, I'm always doing something that's always causing attention, whether it's making a record or playing for some stars. You know, I used to play drums, you know, or acting. You know, somebody may see me, you know, TV or I was a religious person. You know, I'm a YouTuber. You know, so there's some kind of way that we're communicating with each other. We're constantly becoming aware of each other's doings. You know, we constantly are getting to know new things because as we learn new things about ourselves, our friends is there with us to experience this knowledge. Sometimes we go through these things together, okay, as a part of our friendship. You know, I was there when my friend hit the lottery. You know, he was there when I was on social media and watching me perform. You understand? But let's say you got three friends that have knowledge of each other. They're aware of each other, right? Or just two friends, you know, or whatever the number is. You have knowledge of them. You're aware of them. You have this bond with them, and y'all all have this affection, you know. Now, dealing with the knowledge, all it takes is for one to call less, you know, to come around less, you know, to know less and to become less aware. And that less awareness can threaten your friendship. Now, I'm not saying that you need to know everything that go on in your friend's life, but when their mother died and you didn't come to the funeral, or when one of their wives got pregnant and they had children and you wasn't there to watch those children grow up. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere your knowledge base creates a barrier that could cause a threat within that relationship. Your friend can be going through hard times, and you having no knowledge of that, causing that friend to go through those hard times by himself, not having a shoulder to lean on or no one to talk to as they endure these hard times, because hard times don't kill nobody. Human beings defeat hard times all the time, the majority of the time. Okay? And being that your friend is going through these hard times and you have no knowledge of this, that and awareness of this, and you're not, which could cause you not to be there for them like friends are, okay, it can threaten the solidarity of that friendship. So you got three things that must be available and at hand before you can really solidify a friendship. And that is, you must have knowledge and awareness of this person. It doesn't matter the degree, any degree from 1 to 1,000. You got to have knowledge and awareness of this person. You have to have a bond with this person. You have to be connected with this person through something. Whether y'all live on the same block, y'all work together, y'all go to the same school, go to the same church, go to the same mosque, in the same religion, in the same bowling league, on the same football team, or any team it may be for that matter. Okay? It can be whatever it is that's causing y'all to bond together. Okay? And it has to have a fondness. These friends have to be fond of each other. And this is why respect has to be maintained. Because when disrespect is not maintained, then someone is not fond of the other. So you have to have knowledge and awareness of a person. You have to have a bond with the person. Okay? You have to have knowledge of a person. You have to have a bond with a person. And you have to have a fondness of a person. You have to have a liking, at least, for this person. And when a person that's your friend does things constantly that you don't like, or vice versa, then you wonder why certain people are no longer aware of you. Okay? You wonder why certain people break whatever ties that bind. Okay? So, those are the three criteria that it takes in order to be a friend. I have lost many friends, I'm telling you. There's people out there that I have a bond with, but I don't like them. And I have a knowledge with them too. And there's people out there that I have affection for that I don't have ties with. And we have knowledge of each other. Okay? There's people out there that I have knowledge of, and I have ties that bind, but either they no longer like me and I no longer like them. These are examples how Once those three things are solidified, you can honestly say that you have a friend. When those three things are threatened in any shape, form, or capacity, then these people are not your friends. Peace. Shalom Alaikum.